지금 6시잖아. 숟가락 왜 안 돼?
the noble ancestors of this institution, our countries, our peoples, our cultures, our families, who bequeath to us a heritage of excellence, call us together in memory and anticipation. The witnesses in our generation who have given us reason to become, call us together to companionship and celebration. As companions who have been comfort, agitation, curiosity, kindness, comedians, sacrilegious, pious, iconoclastic, and sage, come together to celebrate the kaleidoscope that you are. You perennials, custodians, staff, faculty, administrators, who bear and reshape legacies, called together, entrusted through many generations with the cauldron of collective human restlessness, the treasure of collective human achievement and epiphanies, come together. Those who suffer silently and loudly, who experience hostilities punctuated by few moments of respite, who dwell as anomalies, who hunger for the kindness of belonging, for the freedom to just be, come together for energy. Call us together to honor your quest for the sacredness and humanity of your being. By your presence, O kaleidoscopic, multi-specied, polyphonous divinity of our hearts, entrench within and among us your great vision of a world filled with justice and kinship. O breath of our aspiration, clear our senses that with far-seeing vision, sensitive ears, gentle touches, and attuned intuitions, we may be strengthened, encouraged, gripped, and mobilized by all whom we celebrate, remembering that we all have participated and compelled by protections toward a livable earth and equitable societies in the name of all that is good. Ashe. Ashe.
Taking my time so we can let Professor Spencer Miller's words hang in the air. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the Honors Convocation for the graduating class of 2022. This is the first of several opportunities that we will have as a community at the Theological School and in the university to gather, to recognize all of the incredible achievement, all of the milestones, all of the investment and energy and beauty and creativity and power and exhaustion that has gone into everything that brings so many of you to this moment. At commencement on May 13th, 2022, we will confer or invite across the porch and say the names of 88 graduates of the Theological School. 88 graduates of the Theological School. These are students who completed their degrees in August, in December, and who are really still, I promise, going to finish your degrees in the next few weeks in May. Half of the students are doctoral students. We have 9 students who have defended their dissertations to earn the highest academic degree possible, the Doctor of Philosophy. We have 35 students who have written research projects and community-based scholarship in order to serve the furthering of the vocation of pastoral ministry who are receiving the Doctor of Ministry degree. And we have, do the math, about half who are master's degrees. The Master of Divinity, the Master of Arts, the Master of Theology and Ministry, and the Master of Sacred Theology. There are lots of achievements. There are lots of achievements amongst these graduates. I want to name a couple of them that really stand out to me. There are many and others. One of them is that, by my last count, 8, maybe 9, of the master's students have been accepted into doctoral programs across the country, here at Drew and across the country. Into the Casperson School of Graduate Studies, at Columbia, at Garrett, at Emory, in Illinois, at University of Illinois. There's more and more. This is a major achievement as scholars of our master's students. I want to also say that there are many of the master's students who have already received appointments in churches, new appointments through the Greater New Jersey Conference. Some of you are going to the Midwest. Some of you are going to other conferences. There are lots of students who are already in ministry, but also already placed into new opportunities in ministry. Those are just 2 of the many accomplishments of our graduating class. Tonight, we will spend a little bit of time naming several names, many names, from our graduating class, also some first-year students, and also some second-year students. These prizes or awards that honor academic achievement, that honor capacity for leadership, that honor promise for being change makers in the world, these awards have around them, if you look at the program, lots of names. Lots of people's names. Many of these names might be unfamiliar to you. They are professors or deans or pastors or students, alumni. They are people who have come somehow through the community of Drew Theological School. These are not the names of the prizes and the awards that we're giving tonight, are actually not usually the ones who have given the gift to fund the prize, because there's a small financial prize that comes with each award. Usually those gifts have been given by others, to recognize these people who have traveled through here, who have made a difference. And so I want to mention that because the most common way, and if you ever travel to Greece and Turkey with me to walk through the ancient archaeological sites of the ancient world, you'll see many names written on stones in the archaeology. And the most common kind is something that happened very popularly and widely during the Roman period, where important people would pay to write their own names in public, so that everybody knew how important they were and what they had given to the city, to the country, to the community. But I actually want to talk about another kind of name that is written on the ancient stones. 2 other kinds. One is the kind for associations. These are members of the Miners Club, or members of the Leather Guild, or people from that city or this city who band together, or worshipers of Dionysus or other folks, and they write all their names on the stone. And what's interesting about those names is they've given money too. But what they've given money to is to pay for the funerary expenses of their neighbors and their other members, because in the ancient world, to go unburied was a horrible thing for a community and for a family. So what they would do is collect up their money. We see this in the early Christian texts, mutual aid. They're gathering their money to do what? Feed the poor, to send it off to Jerusalem, to do all kinds of things. This kind of gathering up the money to support current community members and future members is why we can give scholarships to Drew students. The Theological School gives scholarships to students based on this interest in gathering the money and sharing it to the community for our benefit. So it is that kind of benefactor, that kind of benefaction I want to celebrate tonight. And to do so, I want to do one thing, and that is I want to invite each of you to turn to your neighbor here and also on live stream. You can put it in the chat if you like. And I'd like you to name just one person who has somehow given to you money, time, commitment, support, whatever, housing, whatever it is, somehow who has somehow given to you to make who you are and what you can accomplish in the world and what you've done in the world possible. It can be from the past, it can be from yesterday, it can be someone in the room, it can be someone beyond the room. So go ahead, tell a name to someone next to you. Okay, and so it has begun. And so it has begun. The saying of names for accomplishment, for graduation, for gratitude, for recognition, and to honor those who are in our lives and who have made a difference for us. Soon, the faculty will come up and they will begin the process of awarding these prizes. And what I would suggest is if you are here in the room and you hear your name, please come forward and greet the faculty member who has something for you to give you, an envelope with a letter and a certificate with your name written. And if you are joining us on live stream and you hear your name, tell us in the chat, those folks who are following the chat, that you are here and that you have heard your name. Tell us that so that those folks who are watching the chat can see that and celebrate with you. Let us commence.
Within us flows a river, we are trees along its banks, drawing in our sustenance, giving back our thanks. Our strength is gained in stages, till in season we bear fruit. Living water gives us life, nourishing each root, nourishing each root. Within us flows a river, we are trees along its banks, drawing in our sustenance, giving back our thanks. Our strength is gained in stages, till in season we bear fruit. Living water gives us life, nourishing each root, nourishing each root. God be in the tree, in the bud and in the flower. May we bring forth fruit at your Spirit's chosen hour. Cultivate our faith, prune our worry and regret, drawing strength from love, May we blossom for you yet. May we blossom for you yet. Spirit is the river, so dwells God within the soul, nourishing the fallowness, making fragments whole. The flow of love sustains us. Grace and mercy make us clean. Broken hearts begin to heal. New growth can be seen. New growth can be seen. God be in the tree, in the bud and in the flower. May we bring forth fruit at the Spirit's chosen hour. Drawing strength, cultivate our faith, prune our worry and regret, drawing strength from love. May we blossom for you yet. May we blossom for you yet. May we blossom for you yet. May we blossom for you yet.
So I have, the opportunity to get us started here with these prizes, but I am going to go off script for just a second, without having gotten permission from the dean, but don't worry, I'm just going to do it for a second. So I just want to say that there are achievements for which there are no prizes that will be given tonight. There are no prizes that anyone has given money to support, that anyone has named. And I just want to say to you, students, from the faculty, I want to speak to you from the faculty and say to you that at this honors convocation, we honor you for the ways in which you have honored us. And we want to, I don't even think a prize is appropriate, quite frankly, for the ways in which you have spoken into the silence and dead air on a Zoom class when we were waiting for somebody to say something, and you did. For the ways in which you asked a question that you knew other people in the class wanted to ask and no one dared, but you did it. You dared to ask that question. For the ways in which you were stressed out by your family, by what was going on in your life, by your faith community, by something going on, and you showed up anyway to write, to study, to learn, to grow, to dare to be stretched in ways you never thought you could. And so you have changed our lives because you have come to our classes and been our mentees in ways that honor us. And so we want to offer our gratitude to you and celebrate you for the honor of having had the chance to know you here at Drew. But there are prizes that have been named, and I was given the responsibility to lift a few of those up, and I would like to do so because it is indeed a real pleasure and a privilege to do so. And the first one is the Mead Hall Study Circle Prize. And it is given to the woman student who achieves the best academic record in her first year of study. And this prize is awarded to Christy Miller and Lorato Pizzo. Would you come up? The Maxine Clark Beach Leadership Prize for Outstanding Academic Achievement is awarded for academic excellence by a PhD student in coursework. This prize is awarded to Hunter Edwards. Hold on. And Elizabeth Quick. And Wei Zhen Chen. The Maxine Clark Beach Prize for the Outstanding Student Teacher is awarded to a PhD student who has demonstrated exceptional ability, dedication, and promise as a teacher through their outstanding service as a student teacher. This award goes to Unchul Jung. And the last, and I have an additional one that I need to award, and that one is the Maxine Clark Beach Leadership Prize for Outstanding Academic Achievement, awarded to a PhD student who has completed the comprehensive exams with exceptional academic distinction. This one goes to Hunter Bragg and Julian Cook. Congratulations.
Amen to everything Dr. West said about all the students. So it gives me great delight and privilege to invite and announce the next number of students who are receiving awards. The first one is the Patricia Wickham Prize in Feminist Scholarship, awarded for overall academic excellence and creativity in feminist scholarship to a woman student. And that prize goes to Prume Lee. The next award is the Frederick Buechner Prize for Excellence in Preaching. This prize is named in honor of the writer, preacher, and theologian Frederick Buechner, and recognizes excellence in preaching and public proclamation of the gospel. The Buechner Prizes are established thanks to a gift to Drew from the Frederick Buechner Institute. So the recipient of this award is Kita Jean-Marc Mutuale. The next award is the Frederick Buechner Prize for Excellence in Writing. This prize is named in honor of the writer, preacher, and theologian Frederick Buechner and recognizes excellence in writing. And the recipients of this award are Daniela Hobbs and Sarah Williams. Then the next one is the Reverend Dr. Joyce Bailey Award for all-around excellence. Established this year in honor of Reverend Dr. Joyce Bailey, the first Caribbean and Black scholar in Christian education at the Theological School, awarded to an international OUS student of color who excels in both academics and community life and who demonstrates commitment and growth in the social justice values of the Theological School. And this award goes to Janet Jane Okang.
The prizes I'm giving are all named leadership. And so you can imagine when you have a whole school of people training to be amazing religious leaders, how hard it is to just name a few. And I know how many of you were nominated, and we have yet to see what incredible leaders some of you will be, even as we have already experienced your amazing leadership. So following and instructed as always by my colleague, Dr. Tracy West, I want to first say you're courageous to be here, to be training to be religious leaders in a world that really needs it. Keep it up. Whether you get a prize or not, you will be rewarded. My first prize, not my first prize, but the first prize, I get a little possessive here, from the class of 1959 is the Bernard Anderson Prize for Excellence in Leadership. This was to honor the inspired leadership and teaching of, you got it, the late professor of biblical theology, Bernard Anderson, who was also dean of the Theological School from 1954 to 1963. This has two awardees, so please let me name both, Unji Lee and Jean Lee. Congratulations. I'm going to sign up to give this award every year. It gets a lot of response. The next one is the Henry Landham Prize for Excellence in Pastoral Leadership, endowed in 1989 by friends and colleagues to honor former faculty member Henry Lambden, who graduated from the Theological School in 14 and in 35. Awarded for excellence in pastoral leadership, again, we have two recipients, Barbara Monahan and Leo Wandera. The next prize is the Alton Raynor Prize, awarded annually to a student who shows great promise for success in town and country ministry, whatever that means in an increasingly urban, suburban world, but we leave it to your imagination. And in the case of Reverend Gale, country means the whole country of, oh, no, this is from last year. This was not supposed to be in here. I know who it meant, the whole country of Jamaica. He's doing wonderful work there. So, back up. And again, you guessed it, two awardees. I tell you, we're not good at making up our minds because there's such choice. Adrian Mendoza and Justin Spano. I am getting so much energy from y'all. Thank you. The Jasper and Ann Steele Prize, awarded to a student who demonstrates potential for ministry in a multicultural community. Again, two awardees, all very well deserving, Paula Marquez and Stefanos Melikiou.
Good evening, Saints. This is fun, isn't it? It really is. One of our favorite times of the year. It is my honor to join my illustrious colleagues in presenting some awards. And the first one is the class of 1956, Dr. Franz Hillebrand Award. Notice that it was given by the class of 1956, class of 2020. Take note. 2022? Oh, yes, that's right. It's 2022. So this award, the Franz Hillebrand Award, is to honor the inspired teaching of Franz Hillebrand, who was a visiting professor of Christian theology here in the Theo School from 1953 to 1967. It is awarded to outstanding students who've exemplified Dr. Hillebrand's qualities by combining deep faith and excellence in theological studies with effective ministry as an intern in a field ed assignment leading to the Master of Divinity degree. And we have, as you might expect, two winners in this category, Patricia Hennigan and Labinyemo Patrick. All right. So the second award in my batch here is the Reverend Dr. Clayton Z. Miller Prize. Clayton Miller was a member of the class of 1959 and 1975. It was so good, he came back years later and awarded to a Drew Theological School student who has excelled in supervised ministry and shows great promise for congregational clergy leadership. And this year, that award goes to the Reverend Thurcell Chisholm Williams. Who, as you can see, is not with us tonight because she is out doing ministry. All right, Reverend Thurcell, we will get you this envelope soon if you're watching online, all right? The next award is the Robert Duncan Senior Prize, established in 2011 by the Reverend Dr. Robert Duncan Jr., to honor his father, the Reverend Dr. Robert Duncan Sr., who was a Drew alum and I believe was a Drew trustee as well. This award is given annually to a United Methodist student pursuing their MDiv who shows exceptional promise for pastoral ministry. So many of you do, but we have narrowed it to two of you. Andrew Maggs and Eulinus Matthias Friede. Don't forget that little pause there to get the picture just right. And so, Eulinus, if you were watching, congratulations to you as well. We will get this envelope to you soon. That's sort of like the checks in the mail, right? So, the last award in my batch is the Mark McCombs Endowed Prize, to be awarded to a Drew student who embodies Mark McCombs' commitment to the church, to the family, and to the theological school community. And that award tonight goes to Patricia Barnes. I see that my next trip is to the post office. Congratulations.
To fully echo, first of all, what Dr. West was saying earlier, far too few prizes relative to all the prize-deserving students. Bible and Cultures has just 4 to dispense. I mean, a good biblical number, but certain other biblical numbers would be even preferable here, like 7 or 12 or even 40. But 4 is what we've got, which makes them all that much more special, perhaps. The first is the Lawrence E. Toombs Prize in Old Testament for a student who has excelled in this area. And that student this year, among whose stellar accomplishments we must count a truly outstanding MAR thesis, is Nathan Blackwell. Sorry, couldn't be here. Yeah. I'm trying for my best Oscars voice here, so please don't slap me when you come up to receive your award. The next prize is the F.J. Yetter Prize, awarded to a seminary student excelling, again, in Old Testament. And the recipient this year is Danny Hobbs. Next is the J. Newton Davies Greek New Testament Prize, established in honor of the late professor of New Testament, J. Newton Davies, and presented to a student who has excelled in New Testament studies in the first year of study at Drew. And this is the one student on the list whom personally I haven't had the pleasure of having in class, although I've heard really wonderful things about him always, Caleb Cribe. And last, but certainly not least, the George R. Warren Memorial Prize, endowed in 1985 by family in memory of George R. Warren, class of 1928, awarded to a graduating student for outstanding New Testament scholarship. So the recipient of this prize is truly a marathon runner, somebody who has been for quite a number of years pursuing the old 84 credit MDiv part-time, but is now very much in sight of the finish line. And that person is none other than Denise Thomas.
Good evening. It's my honor and privilege to present two awards tonight. The first is the Robert J. Bull Prize. It's endowed in 1996 by Dr. Henry O. Thompson, class of 58, and the graduate degree class of 64. A dedicated alumni leader, as well as other alumni and friends of Drew, in honor of Robert J. Bull, Professor of Church History and Archaeology Emeritus, who brought church history to life for more than 3 decades of students by leading the excavation at Caesarea Maritima, awarded to the graduating student with the best record in church history. And this year, the prize goes to Kara Song. Second, the Annan Memorial Prize in Theology, a discipline near and dear to my heart. Endowed in 2005 by Ann V. Annan, class of 2000, in memory of William E. and David E. Annan. Awarded to graduating students in the Master of Divinity program who have displayed both interest and excellence in theology. And the prize this year is awarded to Sung-il John. Accepting the award tonight on behalf of Sung-il John is Chris Bolzel. Thank you so much for Sung-il. He couldn't be here today. He's on location, but he loves you all. Thank you.
For these prize winners, let me say that I love you no less than those who handshake, but I'm fist bumping today. And I just want to say that people read these things differently. Congratulations to everyone who has been awarded and those who will be awarded even now. The awards I will announce today are those for awards in the practical field, and I have 4 people assigned to me, and I'm very glad to be a part of this celebration. First, the Diefendorf Award, established in 1956 by Robert R. Diefendorf, endowed by family and friends in honor of Dor Diefendorf, Theological School graduate and professor of practical theology and applied Christianity, awarded for excellence in homiletics. This year's award goes to Pauline Niehander. Okay, I'll hug. The George R. Crooks Prize, which originated in 1914 for excellence in hymn and scripture reading, open to graduate MDiv candidates this year. So, recipient is Bridget Dwyer. John Heston Wiley Prize, originated in 1920, presented to the student who excels in pulpit oratory and manner. This year's recipient is Sebuk Lee. We shall get that to you. Congratulations. And finally, the William L.D. Light Theology of 33 Prize, endowed in 2014 by Bishop Ernest S. Light, Theology of 68, and loving memory of his late father, the Reverend William L.D. Light, Theology 33, awarded to a Pan-African student for excellence in preaching. And there are 2 awards here. Rebecca Mako. And Labanimo Patrick. All right. Whose actual first class at Drew was a D-Min preaching class. Congratulations to all. This is Mark Miller.
Yes, over the years we've been confused. But I wouldn't mind having people think of me as Gary Simpson. That's all right. You know, we're as you see, we're really careful in how we read the names and the awards, because we did watch the Academies a few years ago, and the Academy Awards where they Miss La La Land had to give back their award, and Moonlight became that award. But in the spirit of the Academies, we're running about that late, and when we started, actually, Professor Moore didn't even have a beard. So we're moving along. And also, next year, I'm definitely petitioning the deans. Thank you, by the way, administrative assistants, Dean MJD, for getting all this together and actually getting it accurate and making sure we have a great awards ceremony tonight. But I am petitioning you all that next year, if you're not present, that the money gets split up between the faculty. So just remember that, those of you who are coming back next year. The Lester Behrenbroek Award in Church Music, established in 2005 by our dear friend Leary Ann Murphy, in honor of Lester Behrenbroek's contributions over many years. He was the professor of church music here for more than 40 years. So this is awarded to those who excel at church music, and the award goes to Hayrem Yu. Next year, remember. Now, Hayrem, I know you're watching, and congratulations. The Fellowship Seminarian Award. This is a United Methodist Award presented annually by the Fellowship to a student who displays outstanding leadership in music and or worship arts. We have two recipients this year, Woolam Kwak and David Gatan. The Alfred B. Haas Prize, established in 2006 by the Theological School class of 1957 and endowed in 2008 to honor the inspired teaching of Alfred B. Haas, class of 36 and 46, Associate Professor of Practical Theology here for more than 20 years, 1944 to 1968. This is awarded to a student who has made a significant contribution to the worship life of the Theological School. And once again, we honor Beth Quick. The Order of St. Luke Hoyt Hickman Award. Hoyt Hickman was one of the leaders in liturgical studies in the United Methodist Church. This is awarded for excellence in liturgical studies, and this award goes to Isaac Garrigus Corteliu. And finally, the award named after, again, our dear friend and colleague, Dean Ann B. Yardley Prize for Hospitality Through the Arts, established by the class of 2011 to celebrate Dr. Yardley's leadership and her dedication to the arts and her commitment to the fostering of hospitality at Drew. This is awarded to a theological school student who enriches and enhances the theological school community by building hospitality through artistic expression. And this award goes to Taylor Fugate. All right, let's sing.
evening, everyone. So the GDRSA confer 2 awards each year at the Honors Convocation. And the first award, I will have to look into the description, actually. Yes, the first award is Karen McCarthy Brown Award for Excellence in Teaching. So this award is conferred to a professor who's passionately devoted to their disciplines, actively involved in teaching, and able to communicate an enthusiasm for excellence in their field of study, deeply committed to the academic, professional, and personal advancement of their students, and recognized as serious contributors to the enhancement of knowledge in their field of study. And this year, I am honored and privileged to confer this award on behalf of the GDRSA to Dr. Min Jung No. Congratulations. The second award. The second award is Maxine Clark Beach Excellence in Service Award. The recipient must be a member of the faculty or the staff of the Drew encourages and embodies the spirit of community interaction and support among the Drew Graduate Division of Religion Community. And the recipient must be present in a way that has shown sensitivity to mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical vitality of the GDR students. And I'm very happy and honored to confer this to Dean Melanie Johnson de Buffret.
Last batch, here we go. It is my great honor to be able to announce the awards, the prizes that will be given in doctoral research. The first is the Helen Lepage and William Hale Chamberlain Prize. This was established by Joan Chamberlain Engelsman, class of 77, and endowed in 2001 in her memory by her husband. Awarded annually for the PhD dissertation that is singularly distinguished by creative thought and excellent prose style. The dissertation committee that spoke to this year's winner of the Chamberlain Prize unanimously agreed it was one of the most well-written dissertations they had ever read. The author weaves together analysis of period literature, young adult memoirs, tracing the lineage of the U.S. Christian purity culture from the 1800s to today. In addition to the outstanding literary elements of the dissertation, this dissertation provides a unique methodology crafted at the intersections of queer, feminist, and childish theories. For her dissertation entitled I Stumbled, I Caused You to Stumble, White Girls and Queer Youth as Sexual Agents in Contemporary Evangelical Purity Culture, the winner of this year's Chamberlain Prize is Lauren Sawyer. The next prize is the Reverend Robert Edgar Prize for Social Justice. Established by Robert Edgar in the class of 68 as an expression of his affection for Drew University and his deep concern for social justice. This prize is awarded to students pursuing a Doctor of Philosophy degree in the GDR whose work connects the academy with religious, cultural, and socio-political realities and challenges of the larger world, and whose dissertation is distinguished by outstanding transdisciplinary scholarship related to social justice issues. This year's Edgar Prize winner wrote a dissertation that takes the reader on a startling and brilliant journey into the emergence of an ideology of blackness in the black and sunken hypostatic body of Byzantine alchemy. Opening with a study of the film Get Out, and coming to a head with his reading of Fanon's Black Skin, Black Masks, the chair of this committee touted this dissertation sustains the conceptual thread of the author's complex historiography with lucid, persuasive force. For his dissertation, which tracks the extractive economics of imperial politics at play in the alchemical paradigm through its receptive and racialized in modern philosophy, and its reverberation in current white supremacy, this year's Edgar Prize goes to Desmond Coleman's Alchemy and Blackness. I think that the Bible and Cultures folks were trying to get up to that special number, the biblical number that they were talking about. They didn't quite get there, but we do have two recipients of this year's Rabbi Dr. Seldon J. Weltman Prize for Excellence in Biblical Studies, which was endowed in 1992 by the estate of Rabbi Weltman and awarded for the best thesis or dissertation in biblical studies. The first recipient of this year's Weltman Award elegantly reflects some of the best of Drew's Bible and Culture's approach to biblical scholarship and astutely combines various strands and influences of that training into a provocative challenge to the way biblical scholars have traditionally understood biblical historiography. It has been described as creative, theoretically sophisticated, beautifully written, and driven throughout by an attention to the affects and effects of societal collapse on a community's subsequent storytelling, social cohesion, and treatment of the others. The chair of his committee gushed, "This is the strongest dissertation I've read in many years, and its work is destined for publication and to become a topic of lively conversation in SBL circles." Lively conversation in those SBL circles. The first winner of this year's Weltman Award for his dissertation, Deuteronomistic on History, Politics of Time, Affect, and of Nationhood in Judges' Narrative World, is Dong Sung Kim. And the second recipient, the strength of the Bible and Cultures area dissertations was clear, and they insisted that there were two prizes equally deserving of this year's award. And so the next prize goes to a highly original dissertation, being the first full-length application of critical animal studies to a biblical book and the articulation of pan-creaturely sibling hermeneutic. It is also thoroughly intersectional in thrust, engaging repeatedly with the confluence of race and animality in particular. For his elegantly written 400-page dissertation, The Markan Bestiary, Ecology, Animality, and the Second Gospel, this year's Weltman Prize also goes to Brian Tipton. For the Doctor of Ministry, I'll switch my hats from PhD to DMin. The Doctor of Ministry, the first prize is the Robert J. Duncan Jr. Prize, endowed in 2006 by Reverend Robert J. Duncan and Dorothy Duncan in honor of their son, the Reverend Robert J. Duncan Jr., so a flip from the first Duncan Prize. This is it's an award that goes to a Drew DMin student whose project concentrates and displays creativity and innovation in the use of technology. In a post-colonial move, this year's Duncan Award winner identifies the ways in which liturgy has been held in cultural captivity by racism, patriarchy, and Euro-American exceptionalism. She invites her readers to be intentional in their examination of ritual and music, to bring a critical eye in order to open space for the transformative work of the Spirit in creation of liberative liturgies for churches. Her professional project took shape through creation of a web-based site that shares resources she has developed in order to help us, quote, confront what is and proclaim what is yet to come. For her project entitled Decolonizing and Decentering Whiteness in Christian Worship, Creating a Liberating Liturgy Practice in the Public Square, this year's Duncan Prize goes to the Reverend Dr. Lydia Munoz. And we have two final prizes for Doctor of Ministry students, the Daniel P. Kidder, which is awarded to excellence in practical theology. The first, in this timely project, the author seeks the restoration of health in the Mokjang community, the church, in the midst of the crisis of COVID-19. Amidst the worst of the pandemic and government-restricted worship and meeting, church members neglected many of the religious practices that had sustained their faith. And in an effort to address this and prevent long-term loss, this project helps the Korean church recover the practices of the early church. For his project entitled A Meal Table Community for Re-Church, a case study of Seonam Church, the winner of this year's Kidder Prize is Sung Kwang Jang. And the final prize of the evening is the second recipient of the Kidder Prize. This is a prize, a student who authored a professional project that was described as a deep intersectional analysis of sociopolitical dynamics of her community and of the church. Her project models what it means to be an adaptive Christian leader who is able to reflect on her own histories and experiences alongside organizational dynamics with sophistication, compassion, and conviction. After overcoming tremendous challenges, this project and this graduate have modeled what DMIN projects can do for transformational leadership, examining the complex racial, class, and ecclesial dynamics of a struggling nonprofit that had not come to grips with its own legacies and histories. One of the most compelling elements of her recommendation was that her mentor was moved by how the student focused with precision on what she could learn about herself and her adaptive leadership rather than participating in a takedown of the organization. She did so through biblical, historical, and theological reflection, and she offered a challenge for any church or community that wants to engage in just work for and with the poor. She has richly described a model for thinking about leaders' roles and understanding themselves and for those with whom they work. For her project, Scarcity, Poverty, and Theology, Tensions for the Courageous Leader, it is my honor to award this year's Kidder Prize to Zuline Wilkinson.
I have no prizes, but I am going to get you to dinner. But before we do that, there will be other times when we pause to do this as well as we come to the close of the semester. But we want to pause to recognize, to thank, and to bless one of Drew's faculty members who will be moving on in her professional life to another faculty. Dr. Kate Ott has contributed majorly, mightily, and sometimes magically to our classrooms, to our curriculum, and to our community. And now we wish her well as she follows her path to Chicago. May we rise in body and spirit and honor Dr. Ott. Do you want to say something? And I gave her a magic wand for the first birthday that I knew her, so she can carry that magic with her. I invite you to continue to stay standing. Consider the meal blessed when you get there, because I'm not blessing it right now. I'm blessing us. Hear these words for sending. May our feet rest firmly on the ground. May our heads touch the sky. May we see clearly. May we listen closely. May our words be true. May our hearts and minds be open. May our hands be open to others. May our gifts be revealed to us so that we may return that which has been given to us, completing the great circle. May it be so.
Could the prize winners stay for a photograph? And the front of the line of the food is for people who have class.